set, and we're going to use just foam core or poster board, and we're gonna cut this down. We're going to put a little window into it. We're going to texture it with flex stone, but you could use a variety of mediums, but this works really well. It'll give some texture to the foam core. We're going to end up mounting the foam core onto a wooden block, and then we'll eventually screw the block down onto the table so it won't budge. We're going to be building 2 walls for a bedroom, and so the walls will just be, we'll have a side wall and a back wall, which will allow us to shoot the project. And that's what we're going to do. So this we're going to leave as a whole back wall, and we won't cut that at all. And then this one is marked there. Just do a little slice, put the window in with the slice, and then we'll be good to go. So Buren has marked out the foam core, and he's using an X-Acto knife and a T-square and cutting off the foam core, and it cuts pretty darn easy if you apply enough pressure. So we've got a paper template for the window that we're going to cut out, and we're going to actually cut the template out and then trace onto the foam core, and then cut the foam core. So we cut out the paper cutout. We're now tracing the squared window onto the foam core using the paper template. And after that is drawn onto the foam core, then we'll use the X-Acto knife to cut the window out of the foam core. Alright, so the tracing's done. We're going to remove the paper, and the template drew a nice window onto the foam core, and now we're going to cut that out. So we'll just cut out these 4 boxes, which will then leave a nice window with the cross beam window pane in there. Yeah, good job stopping at that middle point.
Yeah, if you just cut through that, that just removes the whole.
Yep, nice job.
It's really hard stopping this thing once it gets going.
Yeah, it does kind of have a little rhythm to it, huh?
Yeah. Ah, darn.
So we've done pretty good. We got a lot of it cut. When you're getting ready, after each panel is cut, each little section, we'll end up just pushing through. We want to be careful that it's cut all the way through. If we look at the back of the foam core, we can kind of see. Hold it, Brian. We can kind of see that some of it is cut all the way through, and some of it's not. So if you look again, if you won't show, it's showing up pretty good. That the top line's not cut all the way through, whereas the bottom one is. So you can kind of look at the back of the foam core and see how you're doing with the cutting, and then apply some more pressure. Go back over your lines if you need to. So right now, Buren's going over the lines and just kind of pressing in to make the cuts. Just going, he already went over it once using the T-square, and now he's going back over the cuts and just pressing in to make sure that they go all the way through. And then he'll be ready to push out the little window panes.
Gonna be easier.
So Burn just cut once again on the initial side. He's going to flip it over and then look at the back side and start doing some cutting on the back side to finish off the cuts. And there it goes. Nice.
Hopefully this won't just tear in the middle.
And there it is. Hold it up, Aaron. Awesome. We'll do a little cleanup on the jams and then texture this thing. So Burns just going back in and doing a little more cutting, just cleaning up some of those edges, pulling off some of the loose pieces. Again, we're going to texturize this thing with a flex paint, which is kind of a thick texturized spray paint. It'll kind of help fill in some of the little gaps and some of the things that we don't want to see. It's kind of a building up compound, so it'll put some pretty thick paint with flecks of like texture in it. So it'll hide some of the things that are a little loose, and it'll just make the whole thing look great. The idea here is the cleanup stage, just kind of cleaning up the edges. So Burn finished cutting out the window. We're back at the stage, and we're just going to kind of set things up in kind of a mock fashion just to see how it's working before we glue the foam core onto the wooden support. So we've got our back wall here and our side wall here, and that's going to look awesome. Yeah, very cool. So now we're ready to glue onto the supports. We've got some wooden supports. We're just going to glue the foam core onto the wooden support, and then later we can screw the support into the table. It'll make for a really nice firm hold. So that's what we're going to do now. Okay. All right, so we're just going to glue the foam core onto the wooden support, and I'll just kind of center it up, and I'm going to go ahead and apply the glue onto the support. Hey, Stefan.
Still there?
Yeah. How are you doing?
You good? Good.
So we're just glue that onto the support system, and once that dries, that will hold nicely. That's gonna be great, huh? Alright, so we already glued the back wall onto the support system just with a little hot glue, and it's already holding nicely. And now we're gonna go ahead and glue the window. I'm just kind of checking to make sure it's where we want it, and then we're gonna glue this onto this support system. And I'll of course glue it off-centered so it won't affect the window or any of the lighting that we'll do behind the window. Just about that much glue, and again making sure I have it lined up right, and then we'll do it off-centered for this one. And before it dries, I'll just put it on the table, make sure that's trued up, and that's it.